Hey, Beyond the Beauty.
We're back.
A to Zane, the beautiful priestess Rachel Roberts.
Rachel Roberts.
Rocking Rachel Roberts. Yes. You know what? I'm just not I'm not a fan of big beautiful intros. You know, I see people on Facebook, you know, one of my pet peeves when they start off a video, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, 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 morning. It's like, oh my God, got it.
Just get to it. Get to it.
Let's get to it.
Right.
So, I have a really interesting topic. And people can, you know, after The Secret, if people remember sort of the time of The Secret, you know, everything was about positive thinking, positive thinking. Think positive, do positive. Don't let things rattle you. Even though things are going bad, you know, think positive. But, if it was so easy, everyone would be doing it.
Exactly.
And why hasn't it successfully worked well, it works for some, but not so much for others. And those that did it positively, what did they do different that made it work, that they had positive results? You know, not just spiritual, everything ties into spiritual, mental, physical, all of it ties in. So nothing is going to be left out.
Right.
If you're super successful spiritually and you're not super successful financially, let's take a look at your methods. Let's try to make it to the whole circle. Everything ties in.
Absolutely.
Or
holistic.
You know, something is off, or there's some injury or some exit of flow of energy somewhere in your life, and this, you know, this will help tie into that too. So what me and Rachel are going to tackle today is why doesn't positive thinking always work? Put your questions right here, but also look. Go to DISCO100 Radio on YouTube and subscribe. Disco is probably the most kind-hearted people, precious in the eyes of the Lord. Oh, Lord.
DISCO100 Radio.
Please go to DISCO100 Radio in the eyes of the Lord. Maybe not my eye. Not my eye, but the eyes of the Lord, you're perfect.
That's all I want to work on.
That's the only thing that matters.
I
can't help you in the midnight hour. My phone off.
Once he give up on me, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. When I give up on you, just keep moving. You see, it's like that. So, so go to DISCO100 and thank you, Johnny, and subscribe. Really good guy, and really helped me and Rachel in a humongous way. So we're going to just keep blessing the hell out of disco. Yeah.
All of that. Yes.
Okay, but check this out. So here's my take on and Rachel rocking Rachel Roberts is going to jump in. So my pitch on why positive thinking doesn't always work. Now, when The Secret came out, and maybe even other books that people have heard of, you know, they talk about a lot of 10 steps to positive thinking, positive thinking, positive thinking. Now, here's the problem. Have you ever seen somebody, are you on the screen? Yeah, thank you.
They want me on the screen?
Okay, yeah. There you go. Have you ever just sort of had a moment where you're blessing it, and you're trying to be positive, you're not trying to pop off, and then that right thing hit, and then you start talking like we all can get it.
Right.
You know what? It go back to say somebody, like people say sometimes, you can always change, but somewhat it's still in there.
Yes.
Oh yes.
So it's still gonna come. It's gonna have to come out every now and then.
Right. Or we go in and fix that so it doesn't have to keep coming out that way.
Right. But once you got it, it's somewhat.
So it's in there. But it's a way to take that out. It's a way to kill it. That's what we're gonna talk about.
So they say.
No, it's not.
Well, I can't. I mean, I know who I am, so I'm not gonna put on and say I agree with y'all. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm getting it.
It's the journey. It's the journey.
So on this show, I don't want to force feed you, you know, like that. You know, like I do my grands.
I mean, I'm gonna take heed of what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, right. Just consider it, right? Just consider it. That's all I want you to do is consider it. So, why doesn't positive thinking work all the time? And Disco just hit on it. So let's not even beat around
Play
the bush
around
on
with
it.
it.
You know, you can think positive. I'm telling you, whenever you believe from a head level, a conscious level,
Yeah.
those two, okay, at least you have some type of awareness that positivity is a good thing and you should try to stay there as long as you can. However, a lot of people will use positive thinking. I'm going to make $10,000 a month. I'm going to get this job. I'm going to a job that you don't qualify for. I'm going to get this car that you really don't need. You know, so all the list of, you know, your Christmas list of all the things that you want to have through a positive thinking. Okay, that's fine. All right, but one thing I always want you to keep in mind is the universe is its only job is development. If it's going to give you a thing, whether it be personal, emotional, physical, financial, is always going to agree to do it for you.
Right.
But it's also going to get you prepared to receive it.
That's it.
Not everybody is prepared to receive it. Okay, so for example, let's say a person wants to, I want this $500,000 house this year. Okay, well, I don't qualify financially for it, but, I'm going to believe it. I don't care. Something's going to happen. My credit's jacked up. So what the universe does, let's say, for example, it's going to sort of test. I'm like, can you save money? Are you prepared to do what you need to do with your credit? Are you prepared to clean up your spending?
Right.
And so it's going to definitely provide you opportunities to spend more money. And what's going to happen? You're going to spend. Because you haven't done the work. Okay, why can't you be there at the $500,000 house now? Why can't you be there now?
Exactly.
At that level.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk the truth. That way you don't have to have extremely lofty dreams, because the universe is not it's not a wishing well.
No, and a lot of people treat it like that. And when we talk about universe, we're talking about, that higher level thinking, God, spirit, whatever your particular religion or however you flow through with your spirituality, it's that higher thinking, it's that higher self, it's that thing outside of yourself. Yeah. And a lot of people, I feel like approach it as if, almost like throwing pennies in the wishing well, like you said, just.
Where did we get that idea from? Is that all the fairy tales we used to read as a kid?
I definitely think so. Yeah. I think we are brought up, because I remember, just again coming in from as a child, we're brought up with fairy tales, Santa Claus,
fairy tales, fairy tales lies.
Hell yeah!
I love the big lies on the impressionable brains.
Yeah. Oh. Yes. And and I even had that conversation not too long ago with one of my girlfriends, and at the end of the day, we're feeding and perpetuating the same lie over and over and over.
So what you're talking about is, okay, you're already going back.
Oh yeah.
You're going back to where the first belief system, the first belief system where began.
Exactly.
So what she's saying is, those first beliefs are affecting sort of how we believe, how we wish upon a star.
How we wish upon a star.
Explain sort of go in a little bit more detail about sort of not just fairy tales, but those first conversations we've heard of, even about money or about sort of how we see society or how we see ourselves. So go a little bit deeper about that.
Okay, so I feel like, everyone's relationship, let's just say with finances, with money, for example, that's a huge topic in everything. It really stems back to what were your parents, what was your parents' relationship with money? What were your guardians' relationship with money? How did you see them, or that group of individuals that had the most effect on you, how did you see them operate with money?
Or solve problems.
Or solve problems.
Or communicate with their family, with their friends,
all of
with
these
their
things.
employers.
You see what I'm saying? Because what happens is, and we don't often really even consciously think about it, it's subconsciously is ingrained in, okay, I see I see mom, dad, grandma, auntie, sister moving in this type of way subconsciously. This is the way that it's supposed to be moving. Right. This is the way that I'm supposed, and that's where we get our earliest belief systems. Right. You know, that's where we form our earliest beliefs.
Right. So when we become adults or even young adults, we set our minds on what we see. We live in America, so we want the big dream. We want the big American dream.
That's it.
Why are we not achieving it?
Because to me it's based on a fallacy. It's based on a lie. Okay. You know, the so-called American dream, you know, in today's society is, you know, you go to school, get a good job, you go, you know, stay on your job, you go out, you buy a house, you know, basically get into debt before you even get started and everything, and then everything will, you know, you'll make enough throughout your lifetime to you know, just basically maintain. And that's the same type of what we're doing is we're literally teaching our children, we're teaching ourselves to continuously stay in debt and really just manage it.
So what
we're not really hitting the source. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. We're definitely not hitting the source. So what you're saying is keeping it simple.
Yeah.
A belief system is started very, very young.
Yes.
Even as far as the crib, you know, the fairy tales, the stories and stuff that we listen to, it starts this perpetual cycle.
Over and over and over again.
And we don't even know that it's even there. Right. Because if the fairy tale said something like, you know what, you work hard and you don't give you never give up. You believe in yourself, and you know you put in the time. You work harder than everybody. Let's not harder than everybody. You work as hard as you can. You believe in yourself, and you don't ever give up.
But don't even like denounce what you just said, because that's what we've been taught. Right. In order for you to achieve anything or you know any kind of wealth or abundance, you have to be the best. You have to work harder at everything. You have to do, especially in our community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Again. That's when we're talking about that finite versus infinite game.
Finite versus infinite.
Okay.
Right.
So it's always about, I got to be better. I got to be better. I got to be the best. I got to versus, you know, other individuals. So that's literally where we're starting to form our beliefs.
Absolutely.
From what we see.
So I got a comment here, which is interesting. It says from Johnny Clark. He says, we don't share financial advice within our community. This should be taught in school. Well, of course. Now we're going back to why positive thinking doesn't work.
Right.
Because if we're not taught that, how are we going to achieve it?
That's it.
You know, starting at 18, building your credit. So let's just talk real talk and just get off the even religious people, the fairy tale. You know, you can. If you believe, you know, you can achieve those things.
Absolutely can.
You know. However, come on.
But you have to first and foremost understand that positive thinking, affirmations, the reason why they work for some and not for others is because the individuals that it doesn't work for, they have not changed their beliefs. They haven't healed that underlying, that bubbling underneath the surface. All you're doing,
it's been sitting there for years.
It's been sitting there for years.
Right.
So all you're doing is really attacking from a conscious level. And you're telling yourself over and over again, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that. Right. And what ends up happening is when you don't achieve those things that you're talking about, now you feel even worse. Yeah. Now
because you really put your heart into,
because
all this
surface work.
Right.
But you haven't hit internally.
Right. Even not we're talking financial, but even talking relationships.
Absolutely.
The biggest fairy tales are told to girls.
Woo!
That's the biggest fairy tales.
The biggest fairy tales. Cinderella. Get your Prince Charming.
No.
Big, you know, you got to be married by a certain time.
No.
You got to have children by a certain kid. And let me tell you, I'm you know, keeping it real. I'm 40 years old. Right. I've not birthed any kids. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I still have individuals. Some of my best friends are good friends. You know, that maybe I've grown up with. I go back and I see them from time to time, and they look at me. What's wrong with you?
Oh wow!
Why you don't have any? You haven't. Well, what happened?
They call it. They want to baby shame you, huh?
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, because because again, it's not that societal norm. You see what I'm saying? You're going against the grain.
Yeah.
So
Right. You know. So even that belief, right?
That belief
is the belief. You know, you that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
You know, even I remember as a 4 or 5 year old little girl, you know, instead of telling me that, you know, believe in yourself, you work hard, find your gifts, you know, let us help you find your gifts. No, when you get married, you know, this is how you take care of your husband. This is how, you know, my grandmother, she was big and, you know, you iron his clothes, get up in the morning, fix his breakfast, you know, sort of that conditioning.
Yeah, the conditioning.
The conditioning. Granted,
great
I was a bit of a hard head. I was like,
you ain't doing all of that.
I ain't doing that. It don't even make sense to me.
Right.
I sound like a slave. I'm mean.
Domesticate.
I was fighting back then. I ain't fixing nobody plate. I'm looking at my brothers like fix me a plate. I'm like,
y'all better go in the kitchen.
And my grandma, she was like, you know, let's fix their plates. And I'm like,
yeah. I
look at me like,
distinctly remember having those conversations. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always fix the men's plate first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, again, we're going back to that, those first beliefs. Look, people, if you're not getting the results and stuff that you want in your life, and you are believing, you know, all those things are good. But look, there's always one thing first, which is that source, that first belief. I don't care how great a plan that you have. And I see, Johnny Clark, vision boards, they do work for some, but why are they working for everyone? If vision boards work, they should work for every person that does it, but why not? Some people have gone back to that source and done the work. They actually had maybe a good conditioning where somebody sat them down and said, no, baby, you're not going to get any of these things unless you're ready to work for it.
Yes.
And let me show you how to do it. A lot of parents are leading from the sidelines. Baby, you can do it. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
But very few of them are leading from the front, showing them how to do it. I'm the parent that shows them how to lead from the front because I have to show them how to do it. I'm not going to believe they can do it. I have to show them how to do it.
Exactly.
So we're going to get away from wishful thinking. Just purposeful planning.
Ooh, I love that.
Only purposeful planning. All the wishing and hoping. Now there are some things that are universally true, which mean, you know, which are now you put in that hard work even with your character. You know, with the person who you are, your value.
Absolutely.
Value.
Exactly.
What you say, money follows?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So,
money follows value.
Money is attracted to value, not the other way around.
Exactly.
Money is always
you can look like money, but that's not what money is attracted to.
Exactly.
Debt is attracted to that.
There you go.
Yeah, but not money is attracted to value.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, piece of shit. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but anyway, but the sort of the whole point is we haven't even started talking about how you can use positive thinking to get what you want. Yeah. You know, and these things are discovered late, and it's only can be heard by the person that's ready to hear it.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to be ready to hear it.
And it's not a fast track to money.
It's not a fast track. It's not it's no shortcut to any of this. When you
there's no shortcuts.
No shortcuts. When you're looking for shortcuts, you're going to get cut short. Okay?
Can you say that loud for
I say when you're looking for shortcuts, you're going to get cut short. Okay, cut short of what you're looking to achieve,
or lose it,
or
lose
exactly,
it
or you're gonna lose it.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yep, no worries.
That's real.
It's so true.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you're gonna get cut short. There are no shortcuts in life. So what you have to do, and for those individuals that really and truly want to start with the positive thinking and manifestation, understand you have to, like you said, you have to go into source first. You have to do the work. You have to be willing to do the work and understand that no one can do it for you. Meaning you can't go back, it's not about, well, mommy and daddy did this, or I wasn't taught that, or da-da-da. Yeah. On some, level, a lot of us weren't, taught or raised in a certain type of way,
Absolutely not.
But
because it wasn't given to them.
Exactly.
Especially in our Black culture, we're not that far away from slavery.
We're not.
We're made have that much space in between having rights.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're not. So for a lot of that, we really and truly have to start reconditioning. It's almost like deprogramming a hard drive. Your brain is your computer.
There. Okay. Hard drive.
Yeah.
How do we program? How do you even go back?
In
your opinion, how do you go back to that first?
You have to. For me, what I had to do, and this is a journey. Like Disco was saying, this is really and truly a journey. This isn't something that you just wake up and boom, it's solved. No, you have to literally go back to that first memory of where did I get when did I start believing in this? Right. When did this become just a natural reaction in my subconscious where I don't even think about it? Okay. It's almost like when we're driving to work or we're driving to the store. Do you have to pull up your MapQuest? Do you have to pull up Waze? No, you just drive. Right. You don't even have to think about it. You just get in your car and you drive.
Sometimes we disappear.
We just and we're we're home. That means that has seeped past your conscious level and into your subconscious because you don't have to think about it. Okay. So now you have to go back. You have to list all of the limiting beliefs that you feel like you have. What are those beliefs that are stopping you from getting to that next level?
Can I pause you right there?
Go ahead.
I love that. You know why I love that? Because first you have to do that.
That's
number one.
That's number one.
So let's say you go back to that source point. I'm gonna call it a pain point. We're gonna use that word a lot. We're gonna go back to the pain point. The pain point doesn't necessarily mean that you were hurt. It could mean that you were given misinformation. So let's go back to that pain point of misinformation. So let's talk about that. Hey, I was told wrong. This was wrong. No, the white man can't keep me back. No man can stop me from doing the thing. No, the government can't hold me back. Okay, so we start listing. No, I do have to save. I can't spend everything I have.
I do have to give value freely.
Yes, right, exactly. I do have to put in time.
Absolutely.
I got to get a book.
I gotta read.
So
I have to learn.
Yeah. So just like what you said, and then we'll let you pick back up. Okay. You create that list of these are all the errors from this one pain point. Exactly. All right. So make sure that when you're writing down all the things that you were misinformed about, write them all down. Don't leave anything down. Okay. So now let's think about what energy is. Energy cannot be destroyed or created, only transferred. All right. So we're not going to. The only way to get rid of this, you have to replace it.
Got to replace it.
So it's almost as if you are recreating that moment.
Exactly.
Time doesn't exist.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist. We can look at a timeline even because we can feel the emotion from maybe something that happened when we were 3, 4, 5, 6.
Absolutely.
Time doesn't exist. So what we do is we go back and we clean it up. Right. All right. This is what I should have learned.
Right.
Someone should have taught me. And you almost have to visually see yourself as the child. Maybe even you go talk to yourself and say that thing. You know what? No, honey. What you should have learned was this. You should have learned, that it's okay that, you're going to have to start putting away and learning more value in economics, with finances. This is what you should learn. Nothing can stop you. You're, just really talk to yourself. You're a boss, you're an entrepreneur, you're that thing that you have to believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. And it's okay if you make a mistake. So really talk to yourself and nurture that part.
Exactly.
You can't get rid of it. You have to replace it.
That's it. You can't. It's not going to, because again, these are beliefs that you've literally grown up with for 20, 30, 40 years.
Come on, honey.
Okay. So it's not anything where you can just, I am a millionaire. I am a possible. No.
Stop doing that.
No.
And then stop going on Facebook and proclaiming this.
No. It's not, because if it was that easy, trust me, we'd all be millionaires.
We'd all be doing it.
We'd all be doing it.
Why are we not? Because most people, we want to just handle every single thing on the surface.
On the surface level.
With your mind and with your ambition. Yeah. Or with your, even worse, ego.
Ooh.
Can't do anything with that.
Ego.
Outside of look like a complete idiot.
Absolutely.
People make games being an idiot. We had a president that was an idiot.
Absolutely.
Had games. However, he has no value.
Exactly. How
do you want to go down in history? So what people are avoiding, what we're going to even talking on this show, even further with the things that are happening for us, we're actually going to be able to show you how to go down your timeline and find those pain points. Yes. And again, pain points doesn't necessarily mean that you were hurt. It means that maybe you were severely misinformed. Now, here's where some pain may exist.
Right.
Okay, so you're misinformed, severely misinformed about finance. If you're just going to use that, you're severely misinformed, but you've had to struggle and sacrifice and go without, and see your children go without, miss opportunities, dropping out of school, working jobs you hate, experiencing loss, and not even know why you can't get out of this
matrix, the circle, this hamster wheel.
That hamster wheel. That's what the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Why we can't get out of it?
Right.
Because everything goes back. There's so much in our timeline that we have to go back and clean up.
We do.
The best thing that a person can do for themselves is all the way back to those first memories. Themselves. And you go back to those moments and you think about it. Why can I get off this hamster wheel? I hate this job. You know, I my kids miss Christmas. This is, all those things happen, but you got to go back and you got to reteach her. Or
you absolutely do. And it's almost like you're going back to your childlike self. Yourself as that child, that young adult, that teenager, wherever that the first thought of those limiting belief occurred. Whether it was that you were severely misinformed, or whether or not it was just something that you brought up on your own, that you adopted from someone else. You have to go back to that self and talk to him, talk to her, and journal it. That's another thing.
You want a commercial break?
We can do a commercial break.
Hey,
okay.
Hold on a second.
Just while we're talking.
You guys, hold on a second. We're going to commercial. If you're not already subscribed to DISCO100 Radio, please do it now. Please do it as a favor. Courtney, Lisa, I see your big head. Go on to YouTube real quick. And subscribe.
Subscribe.
And we're going to go to break. But we're going to be right back.
We'll be back.
So we're back.
All right.
Just a little snack attack.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to get back at it, Rachel.
Yes. Yes.
So,
yes.
We were speaking about on the break that, and I really want everybody to, the people that are still listening, the most important thing that you can do for yourself is go back into your time at that pain point where that misinformation was given,
Yeah.
where that abuse happened, or that humiliation happened,
Right.
or that lack of belief was reinforced by whomsoever.
Right. Right.
What do we need to do to clean that up? How do we change it after it's done?
The way that you can change it is, again, going
Or
back
alter.
or
Yeah.
alter, change it, alter it. Or alter is really what you're doing is you're going. The reason why you're going back is so that you can alter the situation. Okay.
Right.
You can change the trajectory because
Change the
trajectory.
trajectory.
Right.
That's a hard one. Your
But
trajectory.
that's
That's
it.
huge.
That's
because energy is flowing. Energy is going to flow whether it's good or bad. Whatever point it's coming from, if it's a positive point, it's going to flow and everybody's going to see it. If it's a negative point,
it's going to flow.
So we need to change that flow.
You got to change.
How
the
you
flow.
do that?
So the way that you do that, you go back, you talk to that, you go back to that particular incident, that misinformed. I'm gonna just use myself as an example. That misinformed Rachel, that Rachel that was not sure of herself, that Rachel that adopted everybody else's belief of whatever where she pretty much encompassed everything that everybody was saying, whether it be if it was negative, right? You go back to that situation. And you talk to her.
Talk to her.
What to her.
Say? Give me an example. What would you say to her? Think of a situation that you don't mind talking about, and go back in your timeline. And what would you say to Rachel?
And I'll give you this example. We talked about this. I recently had because I'm on my journey. I've been doing this, now, and now a lot of things are coming back up to the surface and bubbling, to the surface. Yeah. So I had a dream not too long ago that I was in my second grade class. Okay. I went back and it was me as my my grown self. Okay. And it was a bully that had pretty much kind of just made my elementary days just really challenging, very, very challenging, and all of that stuff. Won't go into a whole lot of details, but I had to go back. I had to talk to that younger girl, and he showed up in my, I don't know how, but with me going back and talking to her and telling her, what, you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that. The way that other people may have treated you or thought about you or whatever that you got to understand, you are a good person, you are a loving person. You can do anything you literally have to go back and talk to that person, to that hurting girl, right? Yeah. And as a consequence for me, the bully showed up. And I had a chance to talk to him.
You corrected the entire
and I correct that because I corrected, because I opened this door, this one fell open. You see what I'm saying? It's not that I was looking to even talk to this to
do you
him.
feel like that was important to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What's the significance?
The significance is I addressed her. I addressed myself as a young girl and gave her reassuring thoughts. And now, okay, yeah, I am good. I am great. My hair is beautiful. My this is that, But then I went over here. When he appeared, I was able to address it. And the reason why it was so pivotal is because I got to ask questions that I wanted to ask back in second grade. Because it was a very, very difficult, I think, time for me. And for me, the beliefs that I had in, just from elementary school, just from the, just different bullying and different things like that, it literally carried on into my young adulthood.
See?
Confidence.
Long. Yeah.
Self-esteem.
Long.
Insecurity issues.
Long.
And I got to ask him.
Do you feel like it was a stream? Do you feel like it just branched? into other places in your life.
It branched out.
Isn't that, it's incredible.
And
that's what light does. Light never really just sort of like a single beam.
It branched. It hits.
Right.
The way you do one
like
thing.
Seed, it just
the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you are insecure about one area, you're insecure about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 different areas that you probably don't even think about.
So essentially, light coming from that incident, light coming from all the others. So it's a collection of them. Exactly. So going back down your timeline, you're cleaning up. That cleaning up that light.
I'm cleaning up that energy. I was cleaning up that light. I got to ask him questions, and it was why. Yeah. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm not, anything. I just want to get an understanding.
And what did you feel in that moment when you saw him and when you asked those questions? What did you actually really feel? What was going on in him?
For me,
why he was like
that. I felt like, you know what? There was a lot of things because again, healing is a journey. And while I came to understand while I was being, treated this way, what was he going through in his life?
Give me an example. What could have been going through? Why would a kid be so relentless and mean and nasty? A kid. Why would a kid do that? Because someone is doing it to him.
Because someone is doing it to him. Because he's getting treated. And so now he's using that as an outlet.
So who has it worse? Now let's say you have loving parents, right? And you have loving parents.
And I absolutely did.
Now imagine what his life is like.
Exactly.
It's like
so
pity.
To me, it was that's why when I saw him, it wasn't anger, it wasn't anger. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't I'm gonna get you. No, it was I just want to gain an understanding. Why?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What were you going through?
Jeez.
Like I asked that in my dream. Like, what were you going through? What was going on? Talk to me and everything. And it was, it was emotional because I remember the emotion in the dream.
It's still real. Because it's still there.
And even when I woke up, it took a minute for me to actually collect and say, oh, I'm not actually there. Like I'm actually here. It took a minute for me to remember.
Why do you think you went there? Period. Anyway.
Because I told the universe that I needed. This is something that has to be done. There's a lot of areas that I need to clean up in my life.
Did you recognize that when you asked the universe that, or is that just something you asked the question and then the universe presented?
I feel like I asked the question
and the universe presented.
And then the universe presented itself. Yeah, presented this. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And this is just one of many different things, you know what I mean? But this was the most significant because it wasn't just me talking to my younger self. It was me going back and talking to the person of interest, and then really asking the questions. And I felt such a release. You know what I mean? I felt such a release. I felt so much like, you know what I mean? Like, And then again, I went and I journaled it. I wrote it down. Yeah. And it's as crazy as it may sound, because again, it is what we're talking about is a bit unorthodox, because we're brought up to suck it up, get over it.
Why are you still upset about that?
Why are you still?
That happened 50 years ago, 20 years ago. Why are you still upset about that? Let it go.
Listen, that is our response to trauma. That right there, trauma comes in all different shape, form, size. It's not just labeled as it's not just domestic. It's not just this right here. It's not just that right there. Trauma is anything that you've gone through where you have literally been told or you buried. It doesn't
matter should somebody even say that.
Oh no,
should somebody even say that? I've seen 70-something-year-old men still angry about what daddy did when they were sick.
Yeah, because they have not addressed the situation.
Right. Okay, so let's flash forward a little bit. So not the day after the conversation.
Right.
Not the day after that. So it's been a few days since you've had this conversation. What's the feeling? Where are you?
The feeling is I feel empowered.
What?
I feel powerful.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay.
I feel powerful.
Okay.
I feel like by me really addressing that
Yeah.
because I was able to get it off. I was able to handle. I was able to go back and talk. I was able to ask questions. I was able to fix that self image from at 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? That has literally carried me through to my late 30s. Okay. Now I'm
30
you can't tell
years.
me 30 something
Okay,
years.
so I go back to this is what I go back to.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my belief.
Mm-hmm.
This has been my belief for a lot of years that I wanted to prove. Never want to identify and investigate on the show. You felt powerful.
Yeah.
You felt empowered.
Yeah.
And that's what I go to say. Inside of pain is power only. And it never stops. And it is unstoppable.
Yeah.
And it only has potential to do good to help others. That's why we go in and we open.
Right.
So, absolutely perfect. And what you're going to start seeing is something else opens.
Yeah.
Certain doors can't open unless there's enough light. You can't even see. So if I take my phone light and I'm in the woods, they say I have a little pea, like, little pin light like that.
That's little pin.
And I'm running through the woods. I'm still going to knock myself out on a tree.
Right.
I'm running full and I can't really see. But now if I start, they say I have a big light, but it's all muddy, but I start cleaning it up.
Right.
Now I'm getting more light out. Now I can see, like, there it is right there.
Right.
And that's the same thing, that light or that power in the light, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's traveling down,
Right.
cleaning up everything else.
Right.
And what I believe is anything that was stopped or hindered in that timeline because there was darkness there, all that belongs to you.
Absolutely.
That's justice and that's balance.
Mm.
And so the universe owes you because now it's cleaned up. There's no time. Time doesn't exist. So
Time
all
doesn't
those things are owed to you
Mm-hmm.
because they were yours to begin with. And so now you get them.
Yeah.
And so, and even those conversations, I learned this back in my early 30s when I had to go back into my own timeline. I actually took the whole picture of myself. Me and her talked, and I looked at her. I'm like, it's okay. Oh, you tried so hard. I know you tried. I remember. A lot of people know, that don't know about my, learning disability. Me growing up with autism. It was a lack of trying. It was just I didn't know how my brain learned. And so I would look at her and I remember her, she would be so sad. And she didn't want nobody, she would take her failed papers and
Those are mine.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She would take her failed papers and fold them and put them in the bag, and the heart just be
Just,
pumping. It's like,
yeah.
I don't want anybody to see. So I had a long conversation with her, and it took you just like, it may take you a while to go back through. I had, through sort of your timeline
Right.
with your sort of childhood pain points,
Mm-hmm.
I had to go through because that picture of that little girl that lasted all throughout and got to my early 20s. So that pain point for me was long, but me and her had a long conversation, and I loved her,
That was it.
yeah,
That's
I loved
it.
her, and I'm like, look at me now. You're going to be okay. So this is what should have happened, just like what you did, and that's what. Look, I just really hope everybody goes back and rewatch this. There's so many pain points of pain or misinformation or trauma. It doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter how little it is, or that you maybe think that it's little. It could be big.
Right.
Now go back and talk to that person. Clean up that timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Clean up that light. That thing.
Go ahead.
He gonna say so. Man, you know you.
Oh, you better be ready. I want some.
No, Disco, we want the smoke.
Oh my goodness.
So you saying?
Here we go.
So you saying go back for what?
For what?
What we going back for?
Clean it up. Time
It's-
doesn't exist.
That's the decision you made. So basically, if your decision was to do something to me to handle my life, I ain't talked to you in 15, 20 years, I'm back. It's over.
No.
No. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So what I did was, and I'm gonna take myself as an example, like what I just said. I didn't physically talk to this guy.
I don't
Okay.
care if it was a text message.
You know what I'm saying? No. Wait. Listen. I didn't physically. Hold on. Fix your face. Listen. I ain't physically.
You said you want to smoke now.
I want the
Well,
smoke.
come to smoke, come with the face and everything.
Everything come up. Okay.
Smoke.
All right. So I didn't. You don't have to physically go back and talk to anybody. You don't have to send a text message. You don't have to do anything. What you're doing, you're not doing it for that person or whatever. You're doing it so that you can close that chapter. You can start. You see what I'm saying? You can you can start.
You close the chapter when you left that person alone for 10, 15 years.
Can I explain?
Why we
Go
open it?
ahead.
Why take the chance? Okay, this is where I'm at with it.
Okay.
If we
Yeah.
had a fallout, let's say 93.
Mm-hmm.
It was a brutal. It was a big fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Now it took a lot. It hurt us for that month or 2 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we talking about 2020. Why am I gonna take a chance to reopen up that door?
Because
when it's already out of my system.
why not? But is it,
Why?
why?
What am I gonna do?
What does it mean to go back in the door?
Why?
Why? Why not go back in there?
So if you get out of fire, okay, but if it's a house burning, you want some good smoke for real.
Mhm.
Your house catch on fire, and it's burning with flames. You don't get out the house, right? Are you gonna go back in?
The house, I'm not concerned about. I'm concerned about did somebody burn up in there? Did somebody get mangled? Did their face? Right. So we're not talking about a burnt down building. What we're talking about is no, we're not. We're talking about human trauma. We're talking about human trauma. So for example, if there was a pain point in your past where your father wasn't there, and you remember it, and it hurt, and you were by yourself, and he should have been there, and that crap is it actually for you. You tried to, you altered it. You did your job. You did your work by helping other kids do it. Mm-hmm. Now, some people don't even open up that
why
door.
Revisit though?
If you Ada,
get it right.
Why revisit the situation
To clear it up?
If you for what? You already cleared up by going. You gone.
But
you
see
got
what?
the ocean. You made it out the sea.
Some people. Let me give you an example. Because I know 60, 70-year-old drunks still angry and hurting people because they don't go back.
What you going back?
Go back to clean it up and
clean up who?
For them, for
themselves.
themselves.
Tell you something. If I know I ain't did nothing wrong to you, and you decide to stop talking to me 10 years ago, then that's your ass.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about why people should, in general, people should go back, especially if those are ones that are drunk, they're hurting other people because some shit that happened in their past. That's why they need to go back, and they need to deal with that. And how do you deal with it?
Going back, you may relapse. You go back,
they're relapsing as they're going.
You go back, you may get caught just getting right back in that same fire that you already avoided.
But you know what? You're gonna get burnt up down the line. You're still burning up.
That's like me dating a chick. She get on drugs, and it's just love of my life. I ain't seen her in 15 years. You think I'm gonna research her ass to go back to see her again?
No, you missing the.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this is what I'm saying. So just to start with this premise, there's a pain point. Let's say a father beat the hell out of his son, he's 6 years old. I'm like, he's fighting him with his fist and he's beating the hell out of him, and he never got over that. So now he's beating the hell out of his kids, and now he's a drunk. Now he's a mean drunk to his wife. Well, Negro, what's wrong with you? Some shit that happened when he was a kid, when his dad was beating the hell out of him. So he needs to go back and resolve that. He needs to look at his father and say, I don't know what happened to you, but something happened to you. I didn't deserve that. Sometimes people have to go back, and we're seeing this in a very female way, and I'm not sure if this is why you can't hear it well, but they have to go back to that point and get okay, and people do that. And people do that, and they need to do that so they can stop hurting other people. Hurt people, and they learn that, from their childhood, from their family, from their friends, so maybe in school. They learn it there. Clean that shit up so it doesn't hurt other people.
I can see me dwelling on it on a one-on-one, like me saying, you know what, that still bothers me, but let me deal it with just me myself. Let me go to the Lord. Let me go to a vent mode. Let me bless the situation on my own. Hell, right? I'm not going to go back and revisit it. I'm not.
Why?
For what?
What
the hell?
You almost made me jump up. Hold on.
Jump your ass up. But What I'm saying is that I already escaped it. Why am I going back to it?
I like that word, escape.
I already escaped
Escape.
it. I'm gone.
Go back and because you don't have to escape. You got to just go back and get it. You have to go back to that point.
Me not dealing with that situation that long, maybe why I'm the way I am now. Basically, in a positive mode, I'm saying.
Hell.
Positive. Like, why would I go back and entertain it? Why?
To clear it out.
That's like me saying I want to go back to when I was 16 years old and do stuff I did when I was 16. Why revisit that?
Revisit that shit as a pain point.
I ain't revisit
you
shit.
you revisit it.
If
You
clean
it up.
years, your ass out of my life.
They can stay out of your life.
Whatever
But
situation.
if you listen to what Rachel said, she talked. She went back to that point that bothered her so much, and
because she let it bother her. All due respect, Rachel. Wait.
Okay.
What we no. Listen.
Yeah, we're gonna get a drink. Yeah.
What we saying is, listen. For me, it was something.
I guess you close my eyes and talk to me.
Okay, right? Because I got. Whew,
yes.
For me, listen.
Yes.
And for most people,
get that.
Okay, it's subconscious. You're not even thinking about what Valerie was talking about with the dad beating his son and also that. You're subconscious. You haven't escaped shit. You haven't gotten rid of nothing because you are literally reenacting the same stuff, or it has affected you in a way that now it's seeped into your subconscious where you don't even realize.
You're not even aware.
You're not even aware of it, Disco. I wasn't even aware that I was talking to myself.
So you had to revisit it, make yourself better.
Listen, I wasn't aware that I was talking to myself in such a negative way, and because of that, it affected everything that I was doing.
So what I'm saying,
it's not that I allowed it.
Okay,
it's because it was. No, listen.
So what's the answer for that? What did it do to you then? You said it allowed you.
No. It's not that I allowed it. Meaning, come on in, negative self-talk. No, it's just I had been doing it for so long. It was second nature. It's like driving my car to my house. It's like going to the store, pulling out my car, knowing my social security number. It's like knowing my phone number.
So
that's subconscious.
It got into you.
Thank you. Right. That's all we're saying. It got into me.
It brought on the template of who she was.
Yeah, that's what.
That's it. And so listen.
I'm gonna learn for it to become better. I'm not gonna revisit nothing. I see what you're saying.
The reason why you go back, let me.
Go ahead. No, come on.
The reason why let me boost that thing.
Go back. Go back to your gangster boo days.
All right. But listen, the reason why you go back and the reason why that was so pivotal for me is because I had to tell that girl, listen, you're okay. You're not this. You're not what they said you are. Because you're
talking to yourself.
I'm talking to myself.
Okay. I get that.
You see what I'm saying?
But you was eating while she was talking.
I was to the point where I thought you talking about somebody hurt you years ago and you never knew why. And now you're trying to go back to revisit that person or that situation.
Listen, because there go the issue right there. Because see, you're half listening. Let me tell you. Let me bring it back for you. Okay, look, what I was saying was.
Give me smoke. Go ahead.
So when you in a circle.
There you go. So what I was doing, because I'm gonna bring it full circle for your ass. Okay. What I was saying was I had to first talk to her. I had to address the situation with her at 6-7 years old, saying, you're okay. You're going to grow up to be a beautiful young lady. You're successful. You're this, you're that. You are not what they say you are. Okay. You're not this. You're not that. And because I did that, this other thing opened up, this other door, because I was willing to go through that door, this other door opened up that I didn't even ask for. You see what I'm saying? Oh, we gonna get that smoke. Okay? This other door opened up.
So I asked for smoke, I ain't needed, but I just misunderstood you.
But see,
so this one light bright, folks.
Communication is key. Communication is key.
See, light is bright. Y'all just go around, going straight.
No. You were listening around.
You can't say you kept saying revisit the situation.
Because you just jumped it. You do.
That's
what I told you.
Within yourself.
Within yourself.
Spiritual.
Yes. Yeah. You never have to revisit the physical person.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like you said, okay, I know what you're saying now. Like me with my situation.
Right.
I said that I wasn't gonna let that. When I realized,
Yes.
yeah, when I became a father, I put myself in that position.
Yes.
I realized I can't be the guy he was to me.
There you go. Same thing. You almost made me tear this place up,
Man, look.
I go to I go to Dessert Bistro and tear it up. Evening.
I have to lift this table real quick.
Play Dessert Bistro, y'all. Tell my studio up, I'm tearing it up.
I was about to bust it up.
I'm gonna tear it up. I'm playing all trap music.
We ready.
Okay. If you boys go,
look, I'm ready for it.
Well,
This was good.
So now we have clarity.
Yeah.
Now we have clarity.
Oh, y'all be not.
No.
Oh my God, this one. Boy, I'm talking about this
Bro.
around your neck. Okay. So the point is, peoples, you don't necessarily have to go revisit. So, I mean, Disco, what you said actually was, can help me clear up some things. Because if people are thinking that I'm saying, go back and talk to the people that wronged you. We're not
saying that.
Because, you can't change the mind and heart of another person. Only God can do that.
Right.
Only God can get inside of there and do that.
Right.
And that's not our job. We cannot do it unless he's already done the work. However, but at any point, you can recreate moments on your timeline the correct way. Energy can be neither created nor destroyed, only transferred. Transferred. Mm-hmm. And so you have to create something else.
That's right.
You have to provide peace and healing to that pain point in your timeline. And it doesn't take very long. And it depends on the level of trauma, of course.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It depends on the level of trauma. Some traumas really do. Some people need help going back in. So Disco even brought that up. Some people, need to need help going in those doors, and that's okay.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Some people just don't have the same constitution as someone else, probably based on that trauma.
Right.
So everybody that's listening, do not just start running up in the doors that you're not ready for.
Yeah.
Start with maybe situations that you can.
Yes.
Build up power to do more.
Right.
The more power that you receive from absorbing maybe a lesser amount of pain can help you actually it's like breadcrumbs, just traveling down, just getting this one first, getting that one first, until you're able to confront and absorb the bigger pain. Right. So, man, that was good. And I feel like there's a pause.
Pause for what?
I feel like there's a pause where we can just sort of let that sink.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to really let it sink in when Rachel ripped you a new one. That brought something.
I deserve it because I misunderstood the question. If I misunderstood the answer.
Right.
I would never came for her.
That's big. That's big.
See, Light and Bright didn't say it correctly.
Right. But what you said is big, because I never thank my mom for whooping me in a circle.
But we appreciate it though. How about that?
Y'all always go back and appreciate it.
Whooping in a circle.
So you blessed me.
Needed. I just blessed that situation right there.
But you know what?
Blessed it.
Back on true topic. A lot of times, like we had another show, and a guy always talks about how men these days, the way they are because they didn't tackle what they've been through as a kid, and they transform.
Yeah, transfer.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't think you did nothing.
I feel like I did.
You did.
I think I did.
See that smile?
Yeah,
like
I'm smiling. Look, I'm looking at him while you whooping me.
Yeah.
You ain't did nothing. You ain't did nothing.
Like that kid when the mama whooping him in a circle and you looking at him.
It made my day when you said you was right.
No, he was like, I'm looking at him like this, and he's like,
get out of my face.
My brothers used to look at me, my mama whooped me in a circle. They'd be like, I'm looking at them spinning in a circle. I'm like, what? I'm back in this circle. That was good.
That was.
I like that.
But you, you said, like
you took that, Disco.
Yeah.
You took that like.
I'll tell you what I deserve, man. I'm a man. I mean, I want to listen.
Appreciate that.
I have my own perspective what you was trying to say.
Yeah.
You did.
So it's all good. You need it, that's all right.
Oh, that hurt. Okay. All right. It's like, oh my God. I was
That
with
was
this.
good.
I got you.
I was with this table over. I'm like, what?
Then she jumped up.
I was like, oh,
What you jumped up?
oh man.
What? I was like, how can you be so insensitive?
Somebody in trouble.
And then Subwoofer over here, she was
No, I mean, but you
right. She was like this. She cranked it up.
But
Hold up.
there's a lot of people out there who does that. A lot of people will revisit
Yeah.
a particular person, like physically, like they'll.
I think that is dangerous.
They'll go
Yeah.
talk with somebody major and just had this in their heart. Well, I got to pull up on them and talk to them about it.
No.
Yeah.
That is not what we're talking about.
That's
So,
it.
yeah, some stuff like that, that's dangerous. Don't
That
do
is dangerous. That is dangerous.
No man can enter the heart of another man. That's God's word. Stay up out of there.
You can't control anybody else's anything.
But
you
thank
can only
for
control
letting, thank you
self.
for letting this go down your
Nobody
tongue.
ain't hear nothing you saying. I'm about to mute your mic.
Oh, hey,
I
man.
didn't get you pull up your own show.
This guy.
I'm about to mute your mic.
That made me happy. This is definitely recorded. I'm gonna take a picture. I'm screenshotting.
When I was right, when I was wrong.
Oh yeah. I'm screenshotting parts of this show. We'll put it in a frame.
It's all good.
I want that point where that circle. Yeah, you was getting that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you was getting
She
that.
closed
I'm
my
proud
eyes,
of you.
She closed my eyes.
I got, because
She closed my eyes.
she knows fifth flow.
She started doing this.
I'm,
No, you gonna listen. She's like, look, you gonna listen.
that fifth floor ain't no joke. Listen.
They're like, oh, you're gonna get in trouble.
Man. I know two things when I open my eyes.
So you know what, you go.
And you better not be here. Because it's going to be, man, look. When I open these eyes, bruh, you going to get your hand it to you. Oh, you better not be here. That's two things. 10 seconds.
He saw the my show. He was
Because
like,
I'm going.
look, he was like this.
My elevator, I'm going down. I'm going down. I'm going down.
Look, so I think we talked enough about. So that was actually good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. So really the conclusion of why positive thinking doesn't always work is because we have all these unresolved pain points in our past, and we're thinking a certain type of way. We don't even know why.
Right.
I promise you, if you're not getting what you want in your life, you need to go back and see why. Not start from where you are and start,
Right.
You know how they said, say it 10, 15 times a day, say it 100 times a day until it goes subconscious. No, it's not going to go subconscious until you go deal with why you think like that to begin with.
That's right.
You have to reteach yourself the thing that you were supposed to clean your timeline up.
That's right.
So that the light can flow, so that the power can flow. The only reason why you feel empowered is because that you opened it.
That's right.
And you absorbed it and you created a new message.
That's right.
You took it back. Time machine. You just went back. So in order to have a different outcome, you got to change the source. That first belief.
Absolutely.
So the reason why positive thinking doesn't necessarily work is because we're starting from here when we need to start from here.
Yeah.
The reason why it doesn't work is we want to start from here when we should be starting from here. Let's just go back and clean it up so that you can get the results and stuff that you're looking for. And look, you're shaking your head. Amen. I can't. Can I get an amen in the mic?
Come on.
Oh, hell.
You gonna get over there.
The head shake is enough.
Right.
Because you're on the screen. That's all I care about.
Right.
I love you, Disco.
Yes, yeah, love y'all.
Yes, we love you, Disco.
So I don't even know if it's been an hour, but we're gonna close this thing down on a positive note.
Yeah.
There was good information. There was a whooping in a circle, and then there was a head shake. Amen.
Payback Friday. That's okay for you. Don't tell me next week, y'all. Don't want to come. We come.
No, we
back.
coming.
Oh, we coming.
We coming.
I
We
got you.
coming.
Because we appreciate the smoke.
Absolutely.
I got you. I'm closing off.
Closing all. You better know how you know.
Courtney, mwah, mwah, and Kanisha. They my booze. They my fam. Y'all go to DISCO100 Radio on YouTube. Subscribe real quick if you have not already.
Next Saturday.
And come to the day party at Play.
Sundress.
It's sundress. Wear slips.
No slips.
Yeah, my grandma got a slip. If you don't have one,
No slip. If you got a slip, that means
these
you be home
dudes,
anyway.
these dudes gonna be trying to look through y'all dresses through the sun. You know, don't let them
If
see
you got to
nothing.
wear a slip, you need to be home anyway.
No, let them see that lace
That's cool.
at the bottom of them dresses.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna
Right.
turn up for y'all, lace style. I'm gonna let mine drag. Remember how the old church mothers be like, your slip dragging?
Yeah. Just
No,
like
most
that
of them,
show.
I think it was shorts, like small shorts, something.
Yeah,
They most of them like those shorts, like volleyball shorts.
yeah. I'm always intrigued, like when a black woman have like a huge trunk and she's wearing a sundress, and you know that walk where that one butt cheek just sort of settled, it shakes, you know.
Oh, you see some of that?
Oh, you gonna see something?
And they know what they doing. The cheek just walking. Okay, can you move like it?
That's that bounce house.
I don't.
Bounce house.
I don't see that.
Bounce house.
You know what? If we're gonna have sundress day, y'all need to wear gray sweats.
I ain't
Hey.
promoting that. That's y'all promote that.
No, just wear it.
I'm not wearing no damn.
Tell your friends to wear 'em. Tell your friends to wear them.
You post on your page.
No, post it on everybody's page. We want to see it. Give the women something to see.
Let me see it.
You want to see
Y'all
them big,
got
thick.
imagination.
You want to see them big, thick jeans. You want to see imprints.
Okay.
So
She
serious.
being man, she being grown.
All right, people, we went off track.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell your folks bye.
All right, people, love you. Next time,
Yeah.
y'all the beauty out.
Tune in Friday.
Peace.
Yes, tune in Friday for more smoke with DJ. What's your name?
Disco.
See that one call somebody.
Disco 100.
All right, bye.